Okay, so welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a recap of Greenleaf Season 3, Episode 11, The End is Near. Okay, bitch, even in her wrongness, she's still trying to play the victim. I'm just like, she's a piece of damn work. I mean, for real. So Mavis and Maxine, they're sitting around talking. And Mavis is basically like, look, I'm not going to spend my weekend sitting around here looking at you looking like that. Because, of course, it ended with her going to meet Lionel and him saying he wanted to see his daughter. So Mavis is sitting there with a face, what did the English say? Like a face like a slapped ass, right? And Mavis like, I'm not going to be sitting there in my weekend looking at that mug. What the hell is going on? And so, she started talking about the affair with Lionel, which Mavis already, Maxine already knew about. And she did admit that it was obviously to get back at James for sleeping with her sister, which of course, okay, we already knew about. But then she's like, and that man want to cause this mess and basically leave me here to pick up the pieces with that girl blaming me for everything and blaming me for all her sorrows. Well, bitch, you are the cause of all her sorrows. You had the affair. You went through with the pregnancy because you didn't know who the father was. And somehow you flipped us all around to be Gigi's fault. And somehow you've been victimized. Because you screwed two men around the same time that your ass got pregnant. You didn't know who the father was. Come on now. So I'm just like, Lord, she stayed doing shit. And then how does the person that stayed doing shit always the victim? So, maybe Maxine was like, well, are you going to tell her? She was like, as a pastor, you cannot have this kind of stuff out there. You got to get ahead of it because you don't want this stuff to come out. As we could see, there are whole channels on YouTube dedicated to pastors and bishops and deacons and deaconess and first ladies and choir directors and what do they call them? Ministers and music and all this kind of stuff dealing with the church. Obviously, we know about the Catholic Church. All of this stuff. Their whole channels dedicated to talking about the issues in the church. And so basically she was like, you got to get ahead of this and you have got to atone for it, repent for it, and you have to cleanse yourself. I mean that's really the only thing that you could do. And of course May is not going to do that. Because that's just too right. I mean, for her to admit that she was wrong, that she really screwed up. I mean, they already know about the affair. But the fact that one of them children may not be full siblings. Not Miss May. Not Miss Sedity. Miss I'm better than everybody and my shit don't stink. First Lady Greenleaf, well, I guess she's not First Lady anymore because she divorced. Soon to be Pastor Greenleaf. Admit her wrongs. Like, Maxine, who are you talking to? You know your friend. You know damn well that bitch is too conceited and had too much pride to do that. But that's just my opinion. We'll see what happens. Ooh, they're like roaches. They're all over the place. Okay, so Bishop and Gigi are in his office and she's giving him the rundown on everything she found out about Rochelle. And for whatever reason, Bishop still has this block like, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. The way that she carries herself in front of me, the way that she is around me, the way that she's helped me with the IRS bill. Why would she do that if she would if she was like out to get us? So some mess he said, and I'm thinking to myself, are we really that delusional? Y'all are some of the most backsliding church-going folks I've ever met. Infidelity. I mean, they drink more than anybody I've ever seen. You got all these problems going on in your house. You done committed arson and killed somebody in the church. Gigi ended up having to take Mac out for trying to kill her. The child committed suicide because she was being sexually abused and I didn't believe her. But somehow the duality of people, of human behavior, somehow escapes him for some reason when it comes to this Rochelle woman. Of all the things that you've experienced, of all the things that you've done, she can't possibly present herself as this doting, God-loving, church-going Christian and have an ulterior motive at the same time. Like, come on, Bishop. Come on now. And Gigi was like, I don't understand why it's so difficult for you to to believe it. Like, all this paperwork, she even got a photo of Rochelle and her sister when they were kids, and she talked about Basie. Like, she's like, yeah, they used to talk about him all the time. Like, they worshipped him and all this and the other stuff. So right around this time, the door swings open. It's the FBI. They all over the place. Both Cavalry and Triumph get hit at the same time. And I think his name is Joseph, the accountant. He was like, I don't know. He was like, I don't even know these Negroes. I'm about to save myself. He said, thank God. The police, the FBI was like, they said something to him. And he was like, oh, thank God you're here. He said, something really weird going on in this church. I have something to show you. And so he walks out with the FBI kind of looking at them. And they're looking at him like, what the hell is he about to tell them that he hadn't already told us? We already know about the account. We know you can't find the money. But, so it's a whole hot mess. So around this time, May and Maxine are doing an interview for her She Changes Everything event. And so the lady that's interviewing them said, she asked if Gigi's going to speak. And she's like, no. And she's like so curtain. It's almost like with her, it's like an involuntary thing. Anytime Gigi's name is mentioned, she just loses all sense of decorum. It's like, no, she's not going to speak. No. And the lady was like, well, yeah, it seems like she's been doing pretty good. Everybody thinks she's the future of Cavalry. She started this fund that everybody's been talking about. And, she did the interview. And so it seems like, obviously to everybody, Gigi, it should be an obvious choice for Gigi to speak. But, of course, May was like, no, she ain't stealing my thunder. She ain't stealing my spotlight. I don't want that. My constant reminder of my little indiscretion to be standing up there on my day. Like, this, she's just an evil, hateful bitch. So basically, so around this time, she looks up, when the doors swing open, and Karine is walking in, and FBI is out on her heels. So now, they didn't actually come in, and they didn't interrupt the interview, but they reviewed for May. May could see them. And so she basically cut the interview. She's like, no matter who's in the pulpit, that the God, just remember that the Lord will be speaking. And so she cut the interview short, and then she followed them out, and that's when she saw all the chaos in the church. They are going into everybody's office, taking files, laptops, taking computers, anything that they can get, anything that they feel that they need. And so as she's walking out, Charity's like, Mama, the FBI took my computer. I don't know what to do. All of my plans for the program, all of that is on my laptop, and it's not backed up. I don't know what to do. And so she said to Charity, can you please not be, make yourself a victim and just to be the center of attention? Can you just once be helpful in a crisis? She's like, okay, goddamn. Okay, so of course Charity's looking at her like, damn, Mama, I was just trying to sit. So she breezes on past her, and was it Gigi she talked to? And Gigi was like, she said, what is going on? And basically telling her, oh, they're in everybody's office and taking everything. We don't know what's going on. She's like, where's your father? And so you see him in the back. She's like, Mom, he's over there. So he's on the phone talking to, I don't know, maybe the lawyer or whatever, I don't know. And Gigi was like, well, yeah, because they won't let him back into his office until they get everything that they need. So she runs over and hits him in the back. And like, I divorced you free and clear now. Basically, I'm still getting caught up in your shit and that. And eventually they take it in. They eventually take it in her office because she was just showing out. Like, come on now, man. So Gigi ends up calling the attorney that Rochelle recommended for Cora Lee to represent her. So she calls him and says, how soon can you get down here? He was like, as soon as you need me. So she's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna need you to get down here right quick, because we don't know what the hell is going down. And they're talking about fraud and embezzlement and theft and misappropriation of funds. They're talking about some serious charges. We already knew about the IRS stuff, but this is about to be a hot ass mess, and I don't know what's gonna happen over Trump with that account and that missing 200 grand. So, okay, so the attorney arrives at I'm assuming it's Calvary. Okay, so Gigi and Bishop are sitting on one side of the table, Jacob and Kerissa on the other, and so the attorney is basically explaining to them what the FBI is looking for. And so basically they're saying that the account that was set up by Triumph is like the money went into a personal account, and the money was withdrawn by Bishop to pay the tax bill. But he was under the impression that, Rochelle was like, this was a personal account for the church or cryptocurrency or something. And Tony was like, no such thing exists. There's no such thing like that exists. And so the bishop was like, yeah, she gave me this app that I can look up, I can keep track of where my finances are. So you go to pull the app up. Of course, they shit is like, no, server not found, and error, and all kind of stuff. So it was a bogus site for him to, a bogus little app. I mean, that was deep, because she had a fake app created so he could look at his portfolio and the whole thing, and now it's gone. So, okay. So now the father's going back there. Jacob and the father's going back and forth because they both basically feel like fools. And Kerissa basically says, you know what? Enough. Okay. Both of these women played both of you guys. And so what we have to do now is basically focus on how the hell we will get out of this situation. So Mavis and May and Maxine, they're still in the office talking, and Maxine was like, you know what, we can always create another PowerPoint presentation. You can always write another speech. I'm sure it's going to be better than the last. And then, Karine buzzes in and said Lionel's on the phone. Of course, May was like, tell him I call him back or take a message or whatever. I can't deal with that shit right now. Okay, so Charity, as the FBI is there, still taking boxes and boxes of stuff out of Calvary. And so Charity runs into the FBI agent, who that I guess I don't know if he's kind of leading the thing, making sure that they're grabbing everything that they need, but she runs up to him and basically asks to speak to him in private. So we find out that Charity took some racy photos. Okay, so at one point in time she wanted to be an actress, and she had some photos taken, and for a minute I think she was getting blackmailed. May paid whatever the fee was for those photos, and the photos are still on May's computer. Why she's still having photos on? Why would she have those photos on her computer at work? Is anybody's guess. But Charity wants to go with access to her mother's computer so that she can pull those photos off. And he was basically like, you know what? Let me talk to my superior, and I'll get back to you on that. But okay, so. Gigi and Bishop, they're in her office, and I guess he's been trying to call Rochelle, but of course because they already know what's going down, so it's going to voicemail. She's avoiding him. She's not gonna answer his damn phone call. So Gigi was like, well, I don't understand why she's not answering your phone calls. Around this time, Darius walks in, and he asks to speak to Gigi separately. Okay, so Darius has jumped out of boyfriend role to reporter role, and so he took her into, I don't know if there was a cafeteria somewhere at the church there, and so you didn't hear the questions he was asking her, but she was like, I can't believe you're asking me these questions. You promised me that when we started dating that you would not be, this wouldn't happen. You wouldn't be trying to asking me questions about my family. And he was like, it's not me, it's my editor, and I'm only asking you questions that I'm only asking you the questions that where the answer is going to come out anyway. And he said, you want to know the truth? You want to know something? The truth is, Tasha, Rochelle, and Basie has conspired to destroy my family. And she basically got walked out. And so Darius is sitting there like Darius, you knew that shit wasn't going to go there. I'm like, what? Okay, anyway. Okay, so Jacob calls Tasha, and she has him on speakerphone. And so he's basically asking her about this account and was like, what is going on with this account? I know you set up this account, but I know you didn't do this by yourself. What is going on? Come on, what's going on? I need your help. And Tasha was basically sitting there, and then you kind of pan out and you see that Rochelle and Basie's also sitting there too while she's on the phone. And she's like, she basically was like, I don't know anything about any account. I already told you everything I know. I don't know anything about any account. And so Kerissa's standing there saying, tell her that you love her. Now he's trying to smooth and sweet talk her to get her to admit that, yes, at least admit that she set up the account. So he did at least be off the hook, like, okay. They didn't know that. But again, still baffled as to why you keep her on after you ousted her husband. Like, I'm confused by that, but whatever. Anywho, and so she hung up. And Basie was like, I don't know. She looks at Basie because he was like, all right, he loved her and all the whole thing. So she's like, I don't know what he's thinking. And Basie was like, I do. And so he got up and walked off. So this whole hot ass mess. Okay, so we flashed to Zora and Albie Shore. So she was talking about ordering dinner. I guess a friend of theirs was going to come over, but he's on his way to the studio, and so she grabs her bag to go, and he was like, oh, no, you don't have to come. She's like, well, I'd like coming to the studio. He said, yeah, but, you know, you usually just sit there like he bored to death, and he gave her some money. He's like, just go get your nails done or something. So now he doesn't want her coming to the studio, probably because they're going to have some hoochies in there. And I don't know if he got a text or something, and he asked her to get the bottle of wine. Can you get that bottle of wine out of the cabinet for me now, please? Like, he really gets on my damn nerves. So she get the wine. They gave him the bottle. Like, where are you taking? What? Okay, whatever. Anywho, and he kisses her and goes about his business. Okay. So we flash to Gigi. Gigi is at Rochelle's office. She's confronting Rochelle. Like, what? She was like, basically, what are you doing to my father? And I know that you're Basie's sister, and the FBI's at our church, and I know that you had something to do with this, and what the hell is going on, and why are you doing this? And then Rochelle was like, you know what? The other night when I was in bed with your father, and we were talking about our dreams, and and our hopes, and I don't understand where all this paranoia is coming from. You just want to smack the fuck out of Rochelle. You just want Gigi to put her foot all up in Rochelle's ass, right? And of course Rochelle was like, you're just a liar. You're just a liar. She's like, and we talked about it. And if he asked me to marry him, I'm not going to expect you to treat me like your mother, but I would like to be a sister to you. And this paranoia and this delusional, whatever you got going on against me, this has to stop. And she walks past Gigi and goes into the office. And child, please. So we flash to Tasha and Basie. So they up at the house, and she's scared to death. Poor thing, just over there, just shaking and shivering. So she brought him something to drink, and he just giving her the evil eye. Like, if looks could kill, Tasha Skanks would be stretched out on the floor, honey. He just looking at her like cutting his eyes all at her. And then he eventually was like, you know what? I was out here trying to not get killed, and you basically out here dating. Like, I didn't think you was gonna find somebody that fast, and she was like, and if something did happen between us, and I'm not saying it did, but you had me thinking that you were dead. Well, I kept my existential existence a secret, because just in case somebody came looking for me. Bullshit. You're not full of shit. The whole family. And he was like, and you know what? I don't trust you anymore, and I don't think I'll ever be able to trust you again. So that just cut her to her core. Look, she is such an abused woman, and it's like, it's amazing. Like, throughout the whole situation with her, between her and Rochelle and the whole thing to get at the Greenleaf family, early on, it's like, that bitch, I can't wait till she get what she deserves. And now to look at Tasha, it's like, she's so pitiful and so scary and just so abused. And I'm not saying that bitch deserved to get off of what she did. No, you need to go to prison. You need to go to jail for all that little stunt you pulled with the accountant, stealing the money and that whole thing. That's all you. So you did that shit. But when you just look at how she interacts with that family, it's just, that family has done a number on Tasha. Like, that is just, excuse me, it's almost sad to watch. Oh my goodness. Okay, so in the midst of all the stuff going on, of course, Karine, she had to go and say her piece to Bishop about how she's going to meet with the board because they feel like at this point he needs to step down. And of course, the Bishop, he's like, I'm not doing nothing and I don't listen to y'all anyway. And And then Karine basically said, you might not have a choice. Okay, so that's how that little meeting ended. So you have Rochelle has called Basie. to tell him about Gigi's visit. And so he's going on over there bragging about, well, you know what, don't even worry about it, because if you and Tasha did what you were supposed to do, then we're gonna kill basically all these birds with one stone. Basically, you know, we're gonna knock them all down at the same time. So it's all good. I wouldn't even worry about it. So Tasha's overhearing this whole conversation, and she ends up calling Jacob to set up a time so that they can meet. So he got off the phone with Tasha, and Kerissa's like, what was that about? He's like, well, she wanted to meet. And so she's kind of looking at Jacob, and she was like, you care for her, don't you? And of course, Jacob, the way he denied it, and just, it was obvious that he did, but he was like, no, I care about this church, and I care about this family, and I'm trying to get us out of this situation. And she was like, yeah, I understand all that, but you care for her too. And he basically like, I'm not going to have this conversation with you because it's a stupid conversation and it's not a conversation you need to have. And like I said, the way he denied, you know how you can tell the way somebody denies something so they're so vehement and passionate about it when they deny it, you know it's true. So she just kind of sat there and she looked at him. And it wasn't like she had this evil look on her face or this angry look on her face. She was just looking at him like, okay. Oh, and he did find the paper that he signed to give him permission to open this account. So there you go. But she agreed to meet with him, so we'll see what comes of that meeting, if she even make it to that. Because I mean, at this point, I'm thinking they're gonna have all eyes and ears on her, because it's like you can see any minute now she's gonna crack. So yeah, I'll be surprised if this meeting takes place. So okay, so May and Karine. So she's basically trying to get Karine. They're trying to do kind of a rush work. Things that took weeks for them to get together have just gone up in flames because FBI just tore through there like a tornado, girl, and just took everything. So they're now trying to figure out, okay, how we gonna get these I guess I don't want to say programs and all this other stuff that they have. They're trying to do what they can in the amount of time that they have. So around this time, Jacob calls May, and she let him know that his father, Lionel, he died. And so earlier in the day, she had gone to visit Gigi, but Gigi wasn't there. She was going to go and tell Gigi. I guess she had already decided that she was going to tell Gigi. Basically, she wanted to do it before, I guess, Lionel had a chance to do it. Now that Lionel's dead, she's like, okay. So around this time, Gigi walks in. She was like, you came to see me? And so she's like, yeah. She thought about it. Was like, well, he's dead now, so I don't have to tell her anything. I can take this secret to my grave. So she was like, yeah, I just stopped by to just say that I was sorry for snapping at you. That was just so out of line. So unlike her and Gigi, because usually when she says some shit to Gigi, she says the shit and just be all high and mighty, like, you heard, like, what's that, Nene? I said what I said kind of situation, right? So of course Gigi she's not stupid, so she stood there for a minute, was looking at her mom, and then she was like, okay, well, apology accepted. But Gigi, her spidey senses are tingling. She already knows some shit is up. So that is not you. Maybe go sit your ass down somewhere. Nobody believe in that mess. Okay, so Gigi makes her way down to the she found out her father was in the storeroom or whatever. So she goes down and talks to her father, and she was like, is it true that last night you slept with Rochelle? And he was like, what? No, what are you talking about? She was like, well, that's what she just told me. So he grabs his jacket, and she's like, where are you going? I'm going to settle this once and for all. So what the hell you gonna do, Bishop? Okay, she gonna have security throw you out like the she almost did the first time he went to visit her. So May, she's in the sanctuary, and Maxine is up there, Pedal Bell singing, right? So they started talking, and she asked about, well, how did Gigi take it? And of course May's like, what are you talking about? Well, when you told her. And she was like, Lionel died. She said, and Maxine was like, when did he die? Oh, he died this afternoon. And Maxine was like, you still gotta tell her. Why? She's like, because you're gonna be a bishop now. You have to, you have to cleanse yourself. Even though he's dead, it doesn't mean that other people don't know. It's these secrets always find their way out. So you want to do this so that you can start off anew and start off on the right foot. And the one thing that you got to get your house in order, and you have to sit down and you have to talk to her. And whatever Gigi has to say, you just have to sit and take that shit because it's warranted. You've been lying to her all these years, or possibly lying to her for all these years. And it's like, this is the situation that you created. And you've been angry and resentful of this woman her whole life, it looks like. Which is why she left for 20 years. For no other reason than being born. And you had her. So, it's like you're upset with her for a choice you made. And she's been paying the price ever since. So basically Maxine was like, you need to tell her. And so you can see it kind of, her wheels kind of spinning, and over whether or not she's going to tell Gigi. And I don't know what y'all think. You think I don't know if she's gonna tell her. I don't know, because that family just so something. I don't know. Maybe you should have been the one to tell her. But okay, so we finally get to see Sophia. So Sophia, she's at the house, and she's scrolling through social media, and we find out why. Like I expected, he didn't want Zora to go with him to the studio. So there's some huzzy recording them. He got his shirt all open, and she like, babe, look at this, and da-da-da-da-da, right? So Zora was like, I beg your pardon. So she goes on and she forwards the video to Zora. Like, have you seen this? Okay. So Charity and the agent. So the agent comes in with her laptop. And he said that I was informed that if the photos doesn't have anything to do with the case, then we can return the photos. But I'm going to have to see the photos in order to make that determination. So you got to see the photos? He's like, yeah, I'm going to have to see. She was like, the truth is, there are no photos. He's like, I know. So let's see what you really wanted to get off this laptop. Okay, so then I'm going to come back to that. So basically it was, she wanted to get the PowerPoint presentation and it was the PowerPoint presentation and the photos for the service that for maid service. So that's what she wanted to get. Okay, so the old boy and little Albie Shore comes in the house, and of course Zora was like, what is this? Is that why you didn't want me to come? And he was like, well, that wasn't me. You know, it was my friends. They had this stuff going on, and I was there. And I'm like, why the hell? I'm thinking, like, okay, girl, are you that stupid? Why would he just happen to be somewhere and he just laid up somewhere? And when he wasn't laid up, he was sitting up in there with his shirt all open and all this craziness. Come on now. But he was like, no, you know, you my one and only. She was like, are we even together? Because it's like, I mean, to be pretty honest, the way they interact with each other is like, they may as well be roommates who screw occasionally. Like, really. But he was like, no, you know, you my one and only, and she just a bird, and, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And then he ended up, I guess he got a little piece or whatever. I'm just like, Zora, oh my God, I would never want to be that young and dumb again, ever. I mean, we all go through that phase in our life, but girl, you doing a whole lot. Okay, so Charity goes into May's office. Now, remember earlier when she said, can you please just make yourself useful and not a victim all the time? So she walks into, Charity walks into May's office, and she put the little, I guess it's a thumb drive or something on her desk. She's like, well, what is this? She said, this is the PowerPoint and the photos for the service. Have I made myself useful now? And she turns the sachets on that. And I'm like, yeah. She didn't even say thank you. She didn't say shit. She just had the smile on her face. Like she was just so, I mean, she was happy to get him back. But it's like, oh my Lord, Joe. Okay, so. So Gigi's in her office. Looks like she's packing up to leave. And who walks in? Aaron. So he tells her that his father passed away. And of course, she's like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And he basically asked her to sit down. So you already know what he's about to tell her. But of course, it breaks away to Jacob and Basie. So now remember, he was supposed to meet Tasha. So he's at whatever the meetup spot is. And who's come strolling up the steps? Basie. I knew Tasha wasn't going to meet him. She probably had every intention to do so. But Tasha just reckless. And so she just probably, I could just imagine what that whole situation was like at the house. Anyway, he shows up and he was like, oh, Basie was like, oh, were you expecting somebody else? And so Jacob was like, where's Tasha? And Jacob was like, where's Tasha? And Basie was like, well, where's Kerissa? Why don't we worry about our own wives? Okay? So what happened? He said, what are you talking about? He said, well, what happened between the two of you? I was like, I don't know what you He's like, come on now, man to man. What's, you know, I know, because I'm not going to get anything from her. And for whatever reason, Jacob was like, it wasn't anything but a kiss, and it wasn't anything to do with her. It was me. And he was like, oh, it's all good. You know, sin is sin or whatever. And he was basically, they, you know, had the little a little back and forth a little bit. And then he was like, don't bother texting Tasha anymore, because I got her phone. And he walks off. So, okay. So, Bishop, so we get to Rochelle's office. And she's on the phone talking about she's going to be out of town for a while. So, Bishop walks in. And he's like, what the hell is going on? She was like, what? Why did you tell Gigi that we slept together? Because we did last night. He was like, that didn't happen. Well, what are you talking about? And he was like, what about this account and all this stuff? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know that I love you and I care for you. And he was like, okay, just stop it. Just, you know, basically, you know, the jig is up. She's like, I don't know what is going on with you. You know that I love you. He's like, you know what? Basically, I'm done with this shit and you're not going to get away with it. And he storms out. And she was like, bitch, I already did. But he had already left, so he didn't hear that part. But girl, that bitch, Rochelle is a psychopath. So, we flash to May, and she's in the sanctuary, and they're kind of running through, like, the PowerPoints and seeing how everything looks, and the sound and all that kind of stuff. And so, she stands up, like, to leave, and then she turns around, and Gigi's standing there, just out of nowhere. And so she's like, yeah, you know, it looks, you know, everything looks good. You know, I was able to get the photos. Cherry was able to get the photos and all that. And it looks like it's coming good. She was like, yeah, you can see on Gigi's face that something was up. And so May walks like she's about to walk away. He said, oh, and she said, Aaron came to see me. And May stopped in her tracks a little bit. And she was like, oh, she turned like, oh, did he tell you that Lionel passed away? She said, he did. He did. And so May was started talking about something about sin and forgiveness or something she was talking about. I don't know. And she turned to leave, and Lionel and Gigi just tearfully said, you know, is Lionel my father? And she turns to her and was like, I don't know. And turns and walks away to go home. Or away. I don't know where she was going, but she was leaving the sanctuary. And so Gigi is left standing there like, what the hell? What do I do with that? And all the while, the family photos and shit is flashing behind her. Because they have that huge screen with the photos, the slideshow. And Gigi's standing there crying. Maya's walking away. And now Gigi is standing there like, what am I supposed to do with this information? So that's basically how the episode ends. It's just, these last couple of episodes are going to be a doozy. But, you know, I can't wait for them damn. And we still don't, where's the other sister? They keep talking about there was two sisters, there were two sisters. Where's the other sister? So I'm just waiting for her to rear her ugly head. So I'm going to end this here, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.